Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And to my right and to your left, of course, is the lovely Amanda Lamoureux Smith. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. We've been away from here for a couple of weeks. I mean, it was the holiday last week.
And the snowstorm.
Snowstorm. Did you do anything special for, was it President's Day? President's Day.
We went shopping for Aruba.
You went shopping for Aruba, where you'll be next week.
Yes.
We should have you phone in from Aruba.
Maybe.
That would be a great little
I'll try.
We'll think
but then I'll make you all jealous. On the beach.
I know.
In the sunshine. Is that very nice?
It's very nice. But anyways, we're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. Colin, Davey, and the gang in the other room answering the phones. You're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. Give us a call and let us know what's happening in your artful life. We'd like to hear it, all about it.
Yes.
So I've missed you. What's been going on?
I know. It feels like an eternity.
It has been. Well, you were away to the, what's it called, the big game they played.
Something with an S.
Everybody was involved a couple of weeks. You went to the Super Bowl.
I did. It was kind of crazy.
Was that crazy?
It was crazy. As crazy as you would imagine. That I felt like I went through therapy. It was like these ups and these downs, and
well, never mind the game, all the festivity and the pageantry of it all.
Oh yeah, we went to the post game too, which was really cool. Yeah. John Legend was playing. Robert Kraft came out.
That's what I mean. It's like
pretty cool.
And you enjoyed yourselves.
I did.
Did you wear any Patriot attire?
I did. I wore a Brady jersey, obviously. Somebody spilt curry, so this is really awful. Somebody had spilt like some kind of curry on the back of my shirt, so the entire post-game party, I'm like, this building smells so bad. I'm like, what is it? And then it wasn't until we were back at the hotel and I go, oh my God, it's me. And I'm like, how is that, what is that smell? All like smeared all over the back.
Did somebody pour it on you?
I don't know if it was in the back of my seat.
Falcon fan?
Maybe. I did get a little aggressive when we won.
Oh, well, you did. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But you stayed through the whole game?
Of course.
That's great.
Yes. We were sitting right on the line of where he put the ball over to win the game. Ooh. So it was like mind-boggling, you know?
Yeah, the place went crazy.
Oh, my God.
That's great. Well, I'm glad you got that opportunity and a chance to do that. That's not something that happens very often.
No, it's once in a lifetime.
Well, good. Well, welcome home. I'm glad you're home safe and everything. And Aruba next week. We have to get you to phone in because we have a big gallery show next week.
Right.
You know, so gonna have all new art in the gallery. I got to take it down on Saturday, and then our CD release party is Saturday night.
I'll be at some on.
Yeah, you gotta log on to It's All About lowbudgetrecords.com and click on that you're coming.
And I'm so excited for you. We've been talking about this for a while.
Well, you know, it's not the luxury of having friends in the business that record. The luxury is that everybody kind of has their own recording studio in their home, and I, as well as my lifelong best friend Tim Casey, we both started Low Budget Records back in '79 or whenever, and we've both kind of developed the rooms in our. So you do it at your leisure.
Right.
You know, a lot of other rooms, if you're going into a recording studio to record, you got to have everything finished and done, and you're going and record it, get out, because you're paying all this dough. So we have the luxury of being able to sit and listen to it ad nauseum and change this little note.
And go with your inspiration, right?
And make it more inspirational than it is a
deadline.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, everybody out there that's listening, I mean, I enjoy my CD. I enjoy Mr. Kurt's and Jeff's CD. But Tim's CD is the best work that's come out of Low Budget Records ever. This is a big release. It's going to be really a lot of fun.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, wait till you hear it. It's just this amazing. And the way we've been releasing things these days is, if you're going to get technical for a minute, a CD that you buy out of, Target or Strawberries. You know what Strawberries is?
It was an old music spot,
Okay, thank
right?
you. I just tested.
I'm not that young.
I'm in that testing mood today, aren't I? The 16 bits is what means is like they kind of have to compress everything to get it into the CD form and stuff. But we're doing 24-bit, which adds a lot bigger sound. It's a bigger.
Are people going to be able to download it online?
Yes, you can absolutely go to Low Budget Records and get copies from there. And it's going to be in surround sound too, so.
Cool.
So we're kind of really excited. Yeah, we have a big listening party coming up next week, and we're going to fill a big room with some friends and people to listen and kind of tell us where we stand, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to that.
It sounds like a really good time, yeah.
Did you get the chance to do any artful stuff? Did you bring any artful expressions or feelings with you from?
No, but I'm excited to go to Aruba. I've never
Yeah.
been there, so I think that'll be great inspiration. So hopefully I like to doodle too. A lot of my artwork comes from that beginning, so I'll take that with me, and then whether that turns into something or I jot something down to kind of use as an idea when I get back.
Right. Well, that's good. You should always have a pad with you.
Yeah, because you can't take a canvas, you get charged.
Yeah. We always have our phones, and I think that's not enough.
Yeah.
If you're sitting with your toes in the sand,
Right.
it's always nice.
Especially, yeah. And Brian's so much more of a beach person. I have a little bit of ADD, so I'm going to need to be doing something. Right.
Keep yourself busy.
Right.
Well, that's great. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, listen, why don't we get going, because we have a couple of great guests
Yeah,
in there.
absolutely.
Some amazing artists in the studio. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. But first, I do want to talk a little bit about the friends that keep us here going. We're very, very proud of our affiliation with the Boston Main Streets. Boston Main Streets is that volunteer-driven organization that helps revitalize business districts around the city. They work with the property owners to make sure that they get the right demographic information about who's living in the community, who's buying what where, and what businesses will go best in their storefronts. Then once they're filled, the storefront, hopefully with a local entrepreneur who's starting up a business, starting something new, a new restaurant or a new gift store or something like that. They have a design committee that will help them get their proper design work done, make sure that the store has the right appeal, looks just right, and all that, gets through the permitting process of hanging signs with the city. They do all that work with them. And then there is the promotions committee, which puts all this stuff together, like the egg hunt, which is coming up in Fallon Field in Rosendale. I'll be the host for that. It is the Saturday before Easter.
Yeah.
So Easter Saturday is the egg hunt, and we're going to be doing that right in Rosendale Square at Fallon Field.
I was just in Rosendale. My friend bought a condo.
Yeah.
It's a cute little neighborhood.
Yeah, it's very, very nice, and so it'll be a lot of fun. I'll be the host there. Make sure you come by and say hello to us and tell us what you think about what we're doing. We're always open for your suggestions. But if you see somebody out there doing a Main Streets thing, they're probably a volunteer. So thank them, please, for Amanda and I, because the only reason they're doing it is because they love their community just like you do. So make sure you give them a hello. The other thing that we like to talk about is this amazing building that we're in. Our guest Tracy and I were talking about it earlier, and what it is it used to be the power station for the MBTA, and now it's this amazing state-of-the-art television studio.
It's very charming.
Where everybody can come and learn to do television, host a show for themselves. Let's say you have a nonprofit out there and you want to get the message out, you need your mission statement talked about. This is the place you come and get that kind of thing done, right? And you can have a guest here, you come in and you do a television show live where people can call in and ask questions. And then, well, there's another station that we have here at BNN TV. It's Channel 23. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just turn your TV set over to Channel 23 for a second here. Don't go, hold on.
I just had my 40th birthday, but as you all know, that I kind of like to do this every once in a while down to Carter's here at TV 38.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, that's what happens when you turn 40.
Okay, see the kind of programming they have over there on Channel 23? No, but that's the place where you'll go and become a member. You'll pay for a membership, and you'll get to learn how to do Final Cut Pro. You get to learn how to use these cameras, the lighting, and all of that, the sound and stuff, and produce your own programming. Mm-hmm. Is that something you think you'd be able to do? You've hosted the show now a couple of times.
Yeah, I tend to have this blind faith that I can figure stuff out, which sometimes gets me in trouble, but for the most part, helps me along, right?
Sure, no
I
problem.
can
Bring
figure
it
that
on.
out. And then I'm like, what did I sign up for? What did I get myself into? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the
Sink or
place.
swim, right?
Yeah, get in there. You don't know, and this is the place to do that. And if you're interested in doing something like that, please go to www.bnntv.org. Click on Jim Atwood's name. Jim's a great guy downstairs. He knows all the ins and outs of this place. He can push you in the right direction if you want to come here and do some programming, right?
Cool.
Okay, awesome. Do you have a segment today?
I do.
You do. Well, awesome. You know what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
get you into position, find out what's motivating us, see what we
Alrighty.
need, a little boost we all need every week,
Yeah.
right? Listen, gang, you're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn, and of course, this is Amanda. We're here with you today, together in the studio. This is amazing. Listen, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away. We got a great show for you. Hang in there. Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. You're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, your host. I want to remind everybody that if you go to our Facebook page, It's All About Arts, you get a lot of information, a lot of cool things that are happening around the city. It's not just about this program. It's also about some of the other cool activities and artful things that are happening around the New England area. And very, very soon, this show will be popping up there as well. You'll be able to see this show again on that Facebook page at some point at your leisure, actually. So if there's somebody out there that's watching the program and thinks they'd like to show what some of the segments to somebody, they can absolutely go to our Facebook page and grab onto some of that. Also, if you go to www.bnntv.org, you can find us streaming live. You can click on what's playing now, and It's All About Art, or Joe Heisler, or whoever happens to be on the air at the time, will pop right up on your computer screen. I do want to say hello to Peter and Laurie out in Texas. Thank you very much for the emails. And yes, we've had a funny kind of winter here. You were talking to me earlier about how it was 72 degrees here, and all the snow is gone that we did have. Peter used to live in Lynn, and he got married and moved out to Texas with his lovely bride, Laurie, but they've tuned into the show down there. So we appreciate your patronage and hanging out with us. Listen, but it's right now time for a great segment here at BNN TV's It's All About Arts. We're really, really proud of Amanda's work and what she's been doing with motivating us to keep us going, keeping Mondays, full steam ahead. But right now, it's time for Amanda with Monday's Motivation.
Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Motivational Mondays. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm glad to be back. I hope everybody's getting excited for for spring and the great weather that we've been having. Hopefully things turn around quickly. So this week, the quote that I have for you is, "Beauty begins at the moment that you decide to be yourself." So especially when it becomes, when it's related to the arts, when you start to embrace yourself and embrace who you are and apply it to something, that's where the magic happens. And people want to be surrounded by people that are authentic and that are themselves. And it may seem a little bit vulnerable, but I know that personally my life completely changed around when I started to really embrace my uniqueness and what I brought to the world, and also kind of followed my arts intuition. So I'd encourage you to be yourself and to find the beauty within. And with that, I will send it back to Glenn. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Amanda. That's so true. I mean, you really have to turn to yourself, turn inward, and make sure that you're being true to yourself. And I think that obviously helps you to be successful, especially in the creative fields. I mean, speaking of the creative fields, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you to and to welcome to the stage, to the set here, to the show, Tracy Silva Barbosa. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Did you find us okay?
Easy.
Yeah, it's not that hard. You just kind of put It's All About Arts, and then all of the GPSs send you here.
Yeah, I was amazed at how freestanding and out in the open it was.
Yeah, it's a nice building. It's a great place. We're very, very fortunate to
sort
be
of expected to go through a back alley.
Yeah, I know.
Knock 3 times. There was a little bit of that.
Yeah, secret passwords and stuff. But no,
But you can just get right in.
Yeah, you can just walk right in, right, Ruth? The thing about it is this is such a community-based thing here, and it involves the community so much that people really kind of embrace the fact that we're right out here in the open, and the community at large really, really enjoys it.
You can feel it in here.
Great.
It's really nice. The gallery.
You're a glass. Let me ask you my regular question, the way I usually kick it off. If you were designing a website and you had to pull down menu and you had to pick what kind of an artist you are, what would the label be?
I'm a painter on glass and canvas.
A painter on glass and canvas. I think it's the glass work that I've seen and that's really kind of knocked us out around here.
Cool.
Talk to me a little bit about the process and why glass? What was it that glass?
Well, I'm in love with process, and glass involves a lot of process.
Yeah.
There's science to be considered with glass when you're heating it and bringing it back to room temperature. There's all these different ways to work with it that liken it to metal and wood in so many ways, but it has this extra special edge to it where you can cut glass with a saw, but it has to be a diamond saw and it has to be water fed. So there's all of this process involved in treating the material hot and cold that I just love.
Yeah. Now, I guess as opposed to a lot of artists who are basically maybe painters or crafters or something of that nature, you need a dedicated space to work, I'm imagining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a room with kiln and all of that glass cutting material?
The glass world is a wonderful place with lots of different shops that you can rent time from and communities that you can join to do artist residencies. A wonderful one was in New York called Urban Glass, a nonprofit that I did a lot of work through there. But here, I live in New Bedford now in Massachusetts, and I'm doing a lot of work in my home design studio. I live in a live-work space called the Rope Works. It's this really neat artist community in New Bedford.
Nice.
And so I have room there to do my designing, but I now farm out some of the hard labor to manufacturers that do the stuff for me.
That's a great position to be in.
Yeah, it was a revelation, actually.
I was
like, I'm tired. Oh, I don't have to do every piece of it. And it's been a wonderful experience communicating with them and learning about different manufacturers' strengths and how when some of them it's taken literally a year for them to even respond to my emails. So it's fun to get to know them, and then they get to know my art and kind of know more and more what I want out of them.
Right.
And that's
that's
been really
good.
cool.
The trusting each other is so important in this kind of thing.
Both ways.
You were involved in one of the in a major outside installation, weren't you? A memorial that was not too well. Tell me a little bit about that whole process, please.
Yes. After graduating Mass College of Art in Glass in '99, I moved out to Oakland, California, and worked under John Lewis Glass. And we did among other things, we did the Oklahoma City Memorial Project. That was 168 glass chairs that I glued together. And they're still all together. It's like a very proud moment for me, those freezing winters.
Yeah.
So
First of all, congratulations to be involved in something, first, so meaningful. Not that any of your other work isn't meaningful.
It was really emotional.
It's a very emotional deal.
We etched every name onto each chair. There were even some child-sized chairs.
Yeah,
and
I know.
That's always tough. But that was.
I'm glad that Glass got you involved in that. I mean, that's.
Glass is amazing, and it has this poetry to it. It's frozen in time. It's crystallized, literally. So I think
fragile.
And fragile and strong too. Now you see many staircases made of glass. Now that lamination technology has gotten so good that they can make glass lumber that's strong enough to hold a whole crowd of people on a purely glass staircase. So.
Right. Well, let's talk about the process for a second. We've got some beautiful pieces to look at. But first, let's talk just a little bit about how... Does glass come in its rawest form for you first? Is it like...
I prefer to work
can you
with
go?
plate.
Can you go out and work off of anything?
I can work off of anything. I'm that good.
I'll bet. See how I just toss them up there and she slams them back.
But glass in its base form is sand.
Yeah.
And if you're ever walking along the beach and you see a rock that's oddly green and shiny on the outside and might be an odd splattery shape, that could be lightning strike on the beach.
Oh, really?
And it creates a bead of glass. So humanity has harnessed that moment to maintain glass at this constant molten state, which it only really occurs in nature in a flash.
Yeah.
I think that's a very beautiful
That's very
thing
cool.
about it.
I will now forever on the beach be looking for some of that.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like malachite, but you'll see sand sticking to it. It's like this moment where the lightning just...
That's great. Take us for a couple of seconds before we go to some of your work. when it's time, when you say, oh, I got nothing to do, I'm going to make something, are you motivated by inspiration? Is it need? Is it lightning? Speaking of lightning, or is it something that you just kind of turn into a journey where you're going to, okay, I'm going to start with this, I'm going to add some heat, I'm going to see where I go.
I'm very fascinated with the theory of alchemy and how you try to make something out of nothing. I call my glass work duende glass, and duende is a term coined by Federico Garcia Lorca's poetry, and it's the sadness that makes life beautiful. It's the dark that creates the light, and it's the soul that makes art. So I think when it comes to making art, it's always there. It's always on my mind. It's looking at you now.
You're an artist.
I'm going to make like a piece of art. That's all about.
Oh, I'm a piece of work, all right.
But yeah, it just happens, and it's compulsive.
Is it a journey? I mean,
yes, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you're not mapping. Are you mapping things out, saying this is where I'm going to end up, so I have to start here, and I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do this to get to this, this that I want.
Well, within the glasswork, there tends to be parameters where it needs to fit into a situation. So I am limited to that. But I like having a little end limit to what I'm trying to do. I do have a select process that I kind of go through step by step, my method that I start with. I start with certain paint textures, and then I let it sit, and then I kind of feel what that feels like and add more to it. I generally have a vague idea of what the end product will be, but I do like to allow the color and the natural things that happen in the glass to influence the outcome.
Well, Tracy, let's look at some of your work. Can we do that?
Sure.
If we'll bring it up, it'll be on the screen here. You can check this one here. You can see it probably better here, but that's... Talk to me. What are we looking at?
That is a door that has one of my glass pieces installed into its clear space. And it's translucent. It's like 20% translucent at top, and it's 100% opaque at the bottom. And the artwork there is derived from my own photography and drawing, and very influenced by Asian art and landscape, as well as our modern American post-industrial environment. That's like that water tower down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Spent some time living in the city, so I really love those
Very
things.
cool. Very cool. What else do we have?
This is called Dionysian Ruminations. It's a commission from a couple that had a very dark staircase, and they wanted to have a window, some sort of surreal window that allowed them some light. So it's a light box. You're seeing the on and off situation.
Oh, I see what we're looking at.
It's the same piece.
I like it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So when they turn it on, it's a very deep stairwell, and it's hanging above on the wall.
Very cool.
Yeah. And this is a triptych called Forsythia, and it's multiple layers of painted and laminated glass, and it's installed as a transom above an entry.
Very cool. I'm imagining that these windows, obviously the sun's going to change things.
Yes, photography is always a problem for most artists, but I think that to live with them is something else. It's the difference between, a real jewel and a photograph of a jewel.
No question.
So, yeah, this is called Memory Mountain. This was a commission for 2 side lights for an entryway. So the pair to the left is the front and back of one piece, and the pair to the right is the front and back of that piece. So, or actually, it's a little long. And this is a bus shelter that I did for Rhode Island Public Transit Authority.
Oh my goodness.
I love public art. I think art should be very public. I try to find ways to put glass out there in the world, because it is precious, but it's also very durable, and there's something to be had from...
Well, and people should love it, too.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful place to stand when you're
Yes.
waiting for the bus, all alone in the rain.
It is very cool. Now, these are one pieces. It's not like stained glass.
Right. They're not like
I want to
stained
make sure
glass.
we separate
That's
that.
right. They're on one continuous pane.
What kind of paint do you use?
Depends on the piece, but generally an oil-based sign paint or fire on enamel, ceramic enamel.
Because I'm thinking to myself that there's light going to be involved in these, and you want the paint to be able to endure.
That's right.
The color, the
the
pigment.
fire on inks that are essentially ceramic,
Yeah.
fired onto the surface of the glass, they last forever.
How long does a
outside.
piece take you?
It depends on the piece, but generally I can, bang out something in about a month.
Do you work on several pieces at a time?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, that's...
Yep. The
I
first name that I ever gave my studio was 14 Paintings Workshop, because I was always working on 14 at once,
Oh, my goodness.
at different
Where
stages.
where can people see your work?
They can see my work online
Yeah.
if they
Well,
search
how
my
do we do
name.
that?
It's easy enough.
Okay.
Or search my name, Tracy Silva Barbosa, or Duende Glass.
We're going to link that up to It's All About Art, so they click your name and it
Mm-hmm.
goes right to that website.
I'm easy to find.
Tracy, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Really nice to meet you.
That was great work. I love it.
Thanks.
Got a couple of windows at home I'm thinking about.
Hey.
Could use a little something. Listen, gang, we're just halfway home. You're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. Hang in there. We've got another great artist coming up. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thanks. Thanks for hanging in there with us, gang. That was fascinating. I really enjoyed that. I want to remind everybody that next week's show, we're going to be featuring a new change in the gallery out in the B&N gallery. And I'm putting this out there. We've been doing it now for over a year and a half, and we need a name for the gallery. I'm going to call it something. I think I've got a couple of suggestions, a couple of great ideas, but I want to hear from you. So if you can go to our Facebook page and kind of give us a little, hey, I think you should name the gallery the Amanda Gallery, Lamoureux Smith. See, I'm getting it twice. Twice I got it right today. Something's wrong here. But right now, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you and welcome to the set Ruth Brownstein. Hello, Ruth. How are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for coming in and spending some time with us.
Thank you.
I was looking at at some of your work. It's very beautiful stuff. Tell me a little bit. Tell me about the kind of work that the kind of artist you are. Besides great. I mean, if you had to put a label on it.
I would say that my work has a political edge to it.
Okay.
And with a kind of cartoony, childlike quality.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you always been involved? Have you always been voicing opinion through your art?
I would say so. I would say so.
Is it your avenue? Or will you get up on a soapbox too?
No, not a soapbox. It is an exploration of being present.
Yeah.
Whether we're present or not, to notice what's going on around us in the society.
Okay.
So I've done a few series to do with looking out of a window. So the question I have is the reality a war? Is the reality who's been elected president? Or is the reality what I see out of my window? And if the reality is the President of the United States and what I see out the window, how do I make a decision of what I'm going to pay attention to? And when I look one place, I feel one way. When I look another place, I feel another way. And so it's about what am I present to? What am I open to?
What are you aware of? What do you pay?
Yeah.
For the series Out the Window, let's talk about that just for a minute. Is the Out the Window the alternative to accepting what might be reality out there?
The alternative? How do you mean that?
Oh, I mean it by, you kind of put it that is reality the president we have, or the way social conduct is being given us, or what it looks like out my window.
So those are the same for me.
Okay, I see.
Those are the same. And the use of wallpaper is symbolic of the complacency that I think a lot of us, or I'll speak for myself, that I can experience. I go home, the wallpaper is symbolic of that. And the whole idea of not in my backyard.
Okay.
Not in my backyard. And yet, all of what's not in my backyard is creeping towards my backyard, whether I like it or not.
Right.
So it has a lot to do with climate change and the effects of capitalism and consumerism. And I like words a lot. And my curiosity is, when I hear words, what does that look like? What does it look like?
I guess I'm not reaching, but I want to make sure that we get the conversation going.
Okay.
Is the stay out of my backyard? Are you pointing towards some things that are negative in your opinion, or can the gambit of what you're reacting to be the positiveness of a great 73-degree day the other day?
I would say what's negative.
Okay, so you are. So
I mean, in my
you're making
opinion,
social justice.
I
You're
am.
making some social commitment to what opposes you.
Right.
Okay, that's excellent. That's
Right.
okay. That's
Yeah.
good. I know where we're going.
Okay.
Okay. You must have a lot of work to do.
I do now.
Yeah. I mean, I
do now. Yes,
I
I
would,
do.
I would
Yes, I
think
do.
that with what's been going on in our society these days, you've found plenty to talk about or paint about.
I have. And what interests me right now is is how do we look at what's going on that you're calling negative or
Well, maybe negative isn't the word, but maybe unappealing.
What you're paying attention to, right?
Yeah. So let's say pollution.
Yes.
How do we pay attention to that? How do we see the effects of that and climate change? And how do we stay optimistic and creative?
While facing the reality of what's happening.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So mythology interests me, and
Okay.
images of some of the monsters from Chinese painting, and how does that look along with, I was thinking just recently that the kind of violence that's going on in the world is like the Big Bang. I mean, if it all comes crashing together, what's creative that can come out of this?
So it's
Yes.
not all in vain, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a conversation that I have with my 29-year-old all the time. She has really stepped forward and has started to be involved. She's been to many of these gatherings of demonstration, of opposition, to what's been going on. We have great conversations on this. And it always comes around, thank God the both of us come around to, well, what are we going to do about this?
Right.
Right.
How we it's reality. It's a reality at this point, and how do we make it so that we can still exist
And not just complain.
and not just
Not just complain, and how do we have that creative spark through it?
yeah. Have you been? How long have you been doing this kind of work? I'm not asking you
No.
how old you are or where you went to high school or anything like
And I
that.
won't tell you.
Thank you. Good. There's room under this table to kick me in the shins, But just how long have you been?
I've been working
Speaking-
with these kinds of images
Yeah.
for about 20 years.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel?
This didn't start yesterday.
No. I
Yeah.
didn't think it came down with the
Right.
last election.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm curious to follow up with that. Have you seen any advancement as far as people understanding through your work, kind of getting an opinion of you? Maybe it's a personal thing, you and the one person watching this, or maybe there might be some kind of social success.
Yeah, following a
That's what I'm wanting. I don't enjoy going to marches. I don't enjoy being in a crush of people. And it's important, I believe, for all of us to, what is our gift? Because that's where our power is. Where is our gift? And what can I do? I can do my art, or I do performance too. I can do some performance. I can do what I can do. And like you were talking about, I can be authentic and do that, and not be concerned that who wants to hang this over their couch.
right.
Because if I do that, then I'm not being authentic.
And you're losing your focus on
That's right.
your
And you're
self-expression.
and you are to a point selling out.
Right.
Good.
And yet
That's a great answer.
Yeah, and I'm still wanting to do beautiful pieces.
No,
That's
we're
the-
going to see some, and there's no doubt to that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt to that. I just want and hope that somebody with the creative ability that you have finds fulfillment and success. In not only getting the message out, not only making sure that people understand where you're coming from as far as this social comment, but feeling that you've made a difference.
Yeah.
Isn't that the idea?
Yeah.
Can we look at some of it now?
Absolutely.
Can you walk us through some?
Sure.
Okay, why don't we take a look at what we got here? Can we see some pieces, please? Thank you. That'd be great. Okay. Can you see it better over
Yeah,
here?
no, I
Okay,
can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So that I call, have you had your 8 glasses of water today? So that is, these are images that I found in the newspaper or in a magazine, and I blew them up. And it's a collage. The curtains are done out of vellum, which is a kind of plastic sort of material. And the paper is paper that I found in an art store. And so there's acrylic paint and there's crayon in the back. And then the curtains over it. And it's as I said when I wrote about the show that I'm having at Boston City Hall right now, that if I were, on the moon or in a spaceship, Africa would be an inch away.
Yeah.
If I'm looking out of my window, I can only imagine that, and yet that is out my window.
Yeah. It certainly is. Very nice.
So this is done in a similar way, and those are Hummers. Who needs a Hummer?
I never got that myself. I couldn't understand that.
And this is called the Purple Room, done in a similar fashion.
Beautiful. How big are these pieces?
They're different sizes, I would say. They're about, some are 12 by 20, some are larger than that.
I like the wallpaper.
Yeah, I do too.
You know,
I do too.
Because I'm in an old house that has wallpaper.
I actually use scraps of wallpaper with my acrylic paintings because
What
I
are,
love the
what are you
texture.
saying in this piece?
Well, that's a power plant.
Yeah.
And that's why we in this society have power to run the lights. So it's the juxtaposition of the wallpaper and the drapes.
Right.
And that. And my husband, who is involved with public health, went down to New Orleans. And there are homes that are right across the street from things like that.
Right. Imagine if you will.
Yeah.
They're great. You know, I'm in a show with John Crowley right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, him and I are showing pieces at the convention center.
Oh, cool.
He's a great painter, you know.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
abstract and crazy.
Oh, I'll have to go
Can you
see
imagine?
it.
You know John, right?
Yeah.
He's got these. Ask him about the 3 pieces he's got at the convention center.
Oh,
Tell him
I'd
Glenn
love to
sent
go
you.
see that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's
It's really,
great.
really
How long
cool.
is it up?
3 months. We just had the opening last week, a couple
Oh,
of days
that's
ago.
great.
Yeah, so.
That's great.
Do you? Is there always something to talk about?
For me, there is.
There is, huh?
Yeah.
I find. Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
This is a good question. I think when you get an issue, when you get a topic, when you have the power plant out the window, when there's 8 glasses of water that you need to think about, do you work solely on that piece, or do you open the paper and you've got several things to complain?
I mean,
I almost said it. Complain about. I don't mean complain.
Yeah, no, I'm not
I don't
complaining.
mean complain.
For me, this is a spiritual issue as well. Is what does it mean to be present? And how does that look? I usually work on 4 to 6 pieces at the same time.
Yeah. When one is finished, do you feel a sense of relief? You've said it.
Well, there's always the next one.
Yeah, I know, but you've said it. I've said it. Here it is.
And then on the other hand, these are abstract to me.
Yeah.
Because it's about pattern and color and juxtaposition. So once
There's all that too, you know.
once I set it up, it's an abstract painting to me.
Right. That makes sense.
Do you have a dedicated space to work in?
Yeah.
You do.
The
That's
studio.
That's nice.
Large studio in my
You know,
house.
it must be. I like it because you come back with the way you left it.
Yes.
Because your work is so inspirationally motivated. Do you set up an atmosphere for yourself? I mean, do you have talking heads in the background playing as loud as you can
No.
possibly hear them and
No.
stuff like that?
No. I'm
Or the news?
sometimes the news. Sometimes the news. I'm
CNN
in and out a
or
lot. I
something,
go in, I go out. That's why I love it at home.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're working,
Yeah.
you've got that piece in front of you and you're working on it. And
Sometimes I'm listening to a spiritual teacher. Sometimes I'm listening to the news. Sometimes music.
yeah. Well, that's amazing. Where can people see your work? You're going to be showing
Right
it?
now, it's being shown at Boston City Hall.
Is it in Scully? In the Scully, or are you up in the Mayor's?
Mayor's
the Mayor's
Gallery.
Janice, my wife, has a piece up there too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
In the Mayor's Gallery?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
It's a big, huge colored square with color. She's a big color person, abstract
Yeah.
type of thing. Yeah.
So that's where it is right now, till the end of March.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And can I also say, for most of us creative people who do sometimes draw to get it over the couch, it's nice to hear that somebody's using their craft and their love to keep us aware and keep us thinking about the sidewalk we walk down. I think that's
Thank you.
that's very important too.
I think it is.
I mean, there are people that write books, there are people that write poems. I write songs about it, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
But somebody who can put it on canvas and can get that message and in
Get people
effect,
thinking.
get people
Yeah.
to think about it, I
Yeah.
think is so important. I mean,
I do
because
too. I do
it's a window to what's going on. And,
Window to the soul, window
window
into
to
this
everything.
world. Yeah.
Ruth, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for being
Thanks.
here. And don't be a stranger. Please feel free to come back anytime. You too,
Sure.
Tracy. Anytime, you know, and we'll get together again.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. You know what we're going to do is we're going to say goodnight. But I want to just make sure that I remind everybody that next week is going to be the gallery show. We're going to be doing, we got a new set of artists coming in. I think it's flowers, because we're forcing spring upon us. That it's all about us. We've had, you know, was that a tease or what?
The couple days that were in the
warmness
70s,
and
yeah.
beautifulness of the weather.
It was just strange.
It was strange. It was definitely strange.
I know, and I can imagine you saying, there it is, global warming,
Yeah.
right where what did I tell you, right?
I don't know what I was saying. I was mixed up about it myself. I loved it, you know.
My cats were all crazy, the
Right.
birds in the backyard, oh my goodness.
Well, like a lizard under a rock, and you come out and you think, wait a minute, now
Wait,
it's
this
40
makes
degrees,
sense.
I think
Yeah.
I'll go back.
Been sleeping.
Right.
Right. How long have we all been sleeping?
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you know this, I'm an art teacher at an elementary middle school. Let me use some of your work, if I may, in my class.
Oh, for
To
sure.
inspire some of the kids to
Oh,
think
yeah.
think about issues.
That'd be great.
Think about issues, and maybe we'll talk about it off air a little bit
Sure.
about it, because I think it might be a lot of fun.
Sure.
I see a unit plan in my head. I just
Great.
came developing it
I'd love that.
at
Great.
warp speed. Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here with us tonight. We're glad to be back here, and we're looking forward to a nice string of shows where we can both be here. Get out there and do something artful for yourself. Please make sure you get out there and have some art in your life. Do something. Go check out a gallery. Go paint a rock. Do anything. Sing a song. And like I like to say every week, please, and it seems to come true every week we hear of something. Please keep in the forefronts of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please do something artful. Do it for them. They'll appreciate it. I'll love you for it. And we'll see you next week, okay?
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.